Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning into yet another video. I'm your host, That Dragon Guy, and today we're going to continue talking about video games. Yesterday I talked about how I think loot boxes are completely against gaming and are gambling. Now, why am I so against loot boxes? Well, ever since I was a kid, the reason why I play video games, the reason I got into video games, because if you can't tell, Mr. 3X shirt here. Well, this isn't 3X, this is 2X. And I can wear a 1X, I'm not as big as I used to be when I was a kid. But when I was a kid, I was fat, and I got picked on, and I'm not exactly the most attractive guy in the world. I'm really not. So I was always picked on and bullied, and I went to games as a way of escape. Like, if I was mad about something that happened at school, I would go home and put in a fighting game and take my anger out on AI characters. Or play with my uncle, and if we were playing Mortal Kombat, he would kick my ass, but if we were playing any other game, I might have a chance of winning. So, yeah, I mean, it was always an escape to take out emotional feelings. But another reason as to why I absolutely love video games and got into them, and the whole reason I'm so into Final Fantasy, is because I enjoy a really great story. I can't stand playing a game like Tetris. Like, Tetris is great and all. I like Tetris. It's alright. But that's more of a just casual, play it for no reason type of game. While if you play Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 13, 14, 15, blah, blah, blah. I skipped 11, but 11. Or GTA, or Fallout, or whatever. Any of those games have great stories. And you don't need any extra content for the story to make sense. Yeah, Final Fantasy 15 has some DLC where they show other parts of the story, like throughout the game when Prompto goes off somewhere by himself, or Gladius goes out. I think his name's Gladios, whatever. I haven't played 15 in a couple months because I beat it and there's nothing left for me to do. It's completely wiped out. Anyway, I'll go back to it eventually, but it shows side stories of the characters and where they were and how who was it? God, what's his name? I can't remember. The cook, the chef. What is his name? Damn. Anyway, I used to know his name by heart. Now I can't remember it. It's slip of the mind. This is what happens when you don't script anything. But all of those characters have side stories, and it even shows how what's his name went blind. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, one of the DLCs showed how he went blind. And you don't need loot boxes or microtransactions or any of that. And if you don't want to know the side stories, you don't necessarily need the DLC. If you just want the main raw story that the game creators created, then you just play the main base game and you don't have to add any more money into it. You pay a flat price to get that one great story and you get to play. Another thing that I am against loot boxes is certain games, like mobile games or that damn Star Wars game, it was pay to win. And what kind of accomplishment do you feel when you put in $100 and now you beat the game like that? How do you get any accomplishment for hearing the story if you paid to beat it? I mean, for me, it's always, alright, yeah. I've grinded up. Let me go see if I can beat this boss. Okay, he kicked my ass. I didn't grind up enough. Let me go back and grind for another hour. That's me. You're working towards a goal. You feel accomplished when you finally beat that super boss that you can't beat. And yeah, I said super boss as in Final Fantasy super bosses, but that's the thing after the game, is that's another accomplishment that you can do after you beat the game. And it's already in the game. You don't have to pay for it to get the extra stuff. Now, I'm okay with DLC. I think DLC is great. I just I'm really against loot boxes. I'm against anything that's pay to win. I'm against anything to where you gotta pay money to get a really good weapon. Like, I know you can use GTA 5 as an argument, like, oh no, you can't just get a really good weapon without paying for it because you gotta buy the shark cards. No, you don't. You can grind and race and do the online story missions or do a repo mission or something, and you can make a lot of money really, really quickly just by grinding. That's why I pointed out that I thought GTA 5 Online was a great online MMO type game because you can sit there and make your own money. You don't have to add any extra money into it in order to accomplish everything there is to accomplish. Just grind your ass off. And it doesn't take that long. Not as long as you know what you're doing. And if you don't know what you're doing, go online and find a few tips. There's plenty of tips of how to make money fast. Matter of fact, I might do a how to make money fast tip video at some point. I'm not sure. And that's on GTA 5, specifically. Yeah, I love the feeling of accomplishment, of overcoming something that's really hard and hearing a great story out of it without paying to see it. Like paying to see the ending of it or paying to win and end up getting the ending. What was that game to where like the actual ending to the game was DLC? The game came out unfinished and the DLC was how you got to see the ending. And if you heard a big thump, that was my dog jumping over there, Tomiki. You can still follow Tomiki at Yumi and Tomiki on Instagram. So yeah, what are your thoughts? Why do you play games? Do you play games for the same reasons I do? Or do you just play games to put a lot of money into them so you can be better than everyone else? I don't think you're better than anyone else in the game just because you had a lot of money you could put into it. Just because it's a pay-to-win game doesn't mean you've accomplished anything. In my opinion, paying to beat a game just makes you lazy. Because you didn't want to sit there and grind it out. Now, again, some games, you can't just grind it out and beat the game. They're actually 100% pay-to-win. There is no other way to beat it besides paying for it, whatever. And those are lazy game developers. They can't put a good story together and put in a good battle system to where you can grind up and beat whatever boss they have. So, what's your opinion? Like I asked just a minute ago. Why do you play games? To get escape from the world and the people that bully you? Or do you just play it to waste your money? Like, at least with, like, Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy X, let's focus on that one. At least with Final Fantasy X, I can sit there and go back and feel rather accomplished because I defeated the Dark Aeons. And I did it by grinding my ass off. I learned the best way to beat them, I learned the best strategy, and I conquered them. I didn't just put a lot of money into it to beat it. And that's the feeling of accomplishment when you have something that you love. I love games. I love them. They're great. They're great for an escape from the real world for a little bit. Maybe not 100% of the time. Like, you gotta spend some time in the real world. You can't just waste your life in video games. But it's the feeling of accomplishing something in a game, And if you pay for it, then what are you really accomplishing? You accomplish going to work, making a little bit of money, and then wasting that money to be better than some other guy. It doesn't make you better, just means you have more money. You didn't accomplish anything, and you didn't get good at the game. Anyway, write your comments down below and let me know what you think. Why is the reason you play video games? What's the reason? Why is the reason? Why do you do it? I mean, do you have a favorite game, a favorite story that you love to replay over and over? And that's another thing about games that aren't pay to win. They have a crap ton of, replay value. I can't tell you the number of times that I've gone back and played Legends of the Dragoon over and over just to go back through the story again. I love the story of Legends of Dragoon. I wish there was a sequel, but there's not, as far as I know. I'm pretty sure there's not. Um, Final Fantasy X. I've beaten that game so many times, over and over and over and over. I can sit there and tell you what the character's gonna say before they say it. Oh, he's about to tell you about this. Or I can say it word for word. I have the lines memorized, and it's not because I wanted to memorize them. It's because as I go back and play the game, I just, as it comes up, I can remember what's about to happen because I've played it so many times. Like, my rule for Final Fantasy has always been whatever number the Final Fantasy game is, you beat it that many times. 7, you go through it 7 times, and you beat the game all the way through 7 times. Final Fantasy X, 10 times. Granted, I've beaten Final Fantasy X like 100 times because I love that game. I know it has some criticism, but I also believe that in order to love something, you also have to understand why certain parts of it is hated. The laughing scene is cringy. It is, but it's supposed to be. If you pay attention to the story of Final Fantasy X, it's supposed to be cringy. Anyway, I've jumped all over the place to try to explain my point of why games with stories that don't involve any kind of loot boxes or anything like that are better. And I believe that the only reason developers put loot boxes in the games is because they can't think of a good story. So they make a simple game with a simple concept. They, flash it up a little bit. And then in order for you to enjoy it even more, they add stuff that you have to pay for. Stuff that back in the old days you would work for and you would have to look for. You would have to search every inch of the world that the game creators created. You wanted to get the celestial weapons from Final Fantasy X, then you had to sit there and work to get them. You had to dodge 200 lightning bolts. You had to win the right amount of blitzball games, which, speaking of blitzball, I don't understand why everybody hates it, because I absolutely love blitzball. As long as you get the Jack shot, there's no way you can lose a blitzball game. Matter of fact, I have multiple saves on my system to where I've gotten the Jack shot, and I am unbeatable. No one has ever beat me in blitzball on that game. It's not hard. Anyway, to get another one, you gotta... Oh god, I hate Tidus' celestial weapon. I do. That's the one celestial weapon I have the most difficulty with, and that's because you gotta run that chocobo down the line within a certain amount of time. Like, see, do you see what I mean? I'm sitting here and I'm remembering all these great things that I accomplished in games that I did because I had to get good. I had to get some sort of skill. While there are plenty of mobile games or other games that involve microtransactions or pay to win that you don't accomplish anything. You just put money into it and you beat it. Ooh, it's great. Yay. No accomplishment and nothing to remember. My memory is shit ever since my accident. But all the games that I feel the most accomplished for playing, I can remember the hardest parts. No problem. I can remember how much work I put into that game to beat that particular thing. Like, the Dark Aeons are no joke. They are really hard unless you know what you're doing. Alright? Yeah. Anyway, I keep rambling. I need to shut up. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. Why do you play games? Do you love the feeling of accomplishments and actually working towards a goal in a game and grinding your butt off and learning every little inch of the game in order to beat it? Or would you rather pay and get no accomplishment because all you did was waste some money? Because I can tell you, any game that I would have to pay to win, I wouldn't remember it. I wouldn't remember the ending of it either, because I wouldn't feel any accomplishment because I didn't overcome any challenge. I just paid it and I beat it because I put money into it. Write your comments down below. Anyway, if you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget the notification bell because I post every single day and you surely want to be notified. All that being said, I've been your host, That Dragon Guy, and I will see you tomorrow. You have a great day, guys. Bye!